Good morning, Enid. It is Thursday, February 14. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Hope you're doing well here on this early Thursday morning here at 7:30. Grab a cup of coffee if you would and join us for the next 30 minutes of news, weather, sports. And we have a doctor in the house, and we're going to be talking heart health. Get it? Heart health, Valentine's. Of course, you make that connection. Anyway, we're glad that you're here. We're here, and we're ready to go. And we are live streaming around the globe at enidtv.org. So we want to say good morning to all of our friends around the globe that have watched us at Good Morning Enid. And we're coming to you live on Channel 12 and also in high definition 112. So thank you for joining us for our Heart Health Show. Happy Valentine's Day. Good morning, Enid. It is time to rise and shine.
Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us on this pretty nice Valentine's Day. I'd have to say the weather is actually looking pretty up to today. So let's take a look at that bus stop forecast.
Just wait a while, it'll change.
Yeah, it'll go back. But today it is currently 45 degrees, so it's pretty nice this morning. Gonna get up to a high of 65 later on and a low tonight of 27. So overall, 65 degrees in February. It's nice.
Did you see that bottom line, Aaron?
27.
No, the bottom line there.
Mostly sunny.
Keep going.
And the winds, southwest, and changing to
There
northwest.
you
I see
go.
it now.
There you go.
10 to 15 miles an hour, so I guess it is going to get a little bit cooler later today.
And we're going to find out how bad Friday's going to be temperature-wise as we look at the 3-day forecast. See? Look, 65 today, 31 tomorrow. So, and anyway, in the 30s for the weekends. That's typical February weather, and a chance of freezing rain tomorrow as this front moves through. And according to the weatherman, they think that will happen overnight. The wind shift and the cold temperatures. So 60 today, 30 tomorrow. That's the way it is. Our special guest from St. Mary's is Dr. John Bartolozzi. Is that close?
That's cool.
That's close. Okay, very good. Well, Dr. John, now there was a musician, Dr. John. Do you ever get that? Have you ever heard that?
Dr. John, I've heard of it.
What's the name of the song? Could have been in the right place at the wrong time. I don't know. But anyway, there was a Dr. John. I'm sorry.
Dr. John, the medicine show.
There's probably medication for me to stay focused and stuff like that. Anyway, from St. Mary's, we appreciate the doctor being with us today. And he's going to help us out with the weather. And we have some record temps, and this is typical Oklahoma.
A record low of 0 in 1936 and a record high of 83 in 1954.
Wow, so Valentine's Day back in those times. That is so Oklahoma. Just one day it's break out the shorts, mow the lawn, the next day you're shoveling snow where you were mowing. So
That's true.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have
Thank you for having me.
great Valentine's Day, everyone, here at 7:33. And let's take a look at the school menu. School is still in
Yes, it is.
Session. I wonder if they have a Valentine's feature.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like we're having easy jammer sandwiches, which I think is like PB&J with wow butter and easy jam, and then celery with wow butter, steamed carrots, pickle spears, banana, and milk. So it doesn't seem super Valentine's Eve, but maybe they'll have a snack later in the day. And then on Friday, there's chicken taquitos, cheese sauce cup, refried beans, broccoli with ranch, pineapple, and milk.
Well, can we have that menu back on the screen for just a question here? Now, my narrow-minded opinion, that doesn't look too heart healthy. Heart healthy, okay. Dr. John, help us out. Is there any heart healthiness on that menu for our kids?
Yes.
Okay.
The carrots are good. The banana's good. The broccoli is good.
Okay.
And the milk.
Okay. All right. You have it official. So send your kids to school. A few of the items are good, especially the broccoli part. Eat up broccoli.
No ranch.
It's 7:34, and it's time to find out when the Thunder's going to play next. And we always turn to one guy who knows it all, and that's Derek Silas, the bow tie guy, and he has the Oklahoma Minute.
Here's a few of the top headlines for this week. The House and Senate are expected to pass legislation today to fund government and prevent another shutdown, which they will send to the president for his signature and approval. And statewide, Oklahoma had low turnout for the mayoral municipal races based on the 2017 population and not registered voters, with the lowest being 2.1% in Ponca City and the highest 16.9% in Bristow. Enid had a 7.2 turnout rate. While the City of Enid municipal election results unofficial by the Oklahoma State Election Board places George Pankinen as mayor-elect of Enid with 55.64% of the vote, and Rob Stallings as commissioner-elect for Ward 5 with 82.57% of the vote. Because there were no oppositions in Ward 1 and 2, Jaron Allen will be the Ward 1 commissioner and Darren Norwood will remain the Ward 2 commissioner. A new report released by the state reveals that 30,000 Oklahoma teachers have left the profession in the last 6 years. The state superintendent believes this is due to budget cuts within the last decade. And the industry for medical marijuana, which was approved in June 2018, has taken off very quickly. The sales exceeded $4 million in January 2019, according to the Oklahoma Tax Commission. And tonight, get ready to rumble. Tonight, Oklahoma City Thunder will go up against the New Orleans Pelicans at 7 p.m. in New Orleans. You can watch the game on Fox Sports Oklahoma. And on this day in history, in around about 278 AD, the priest Saint Valentine was beheaded in Rome. He had written a farewell note to his daughter, having signed it in the ending "From Your Valentine." His death was mingled with the Feast of Lupercalia, a pagan festival of love, and the date gradually became a date for exchanging love messages, poems, and simple gifts as flowers and candy. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
We always learn something.
Yeah, I
It's
did not know
amazing.
that.
Fascinating.
Well, we just walk out of here so educated. It's amazing. Thank you, Derek. It's 7:36, and we want to remind you, if you have any photos you want to send us, you can send them to gme@enid.org. That is gme@enid.org. You have birthdays or just really any celebrations, graduations coming up in May, and just other events that are going on. Feel free to send them, and we'll put them on the air right there at this segment, and gme@enid.org. So, well, again, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. As Aaron mentioned, we're going to work our way up to 65 degrees, so it's going to be a very pleasant day temperature-wise, but hold on, it's going to turn around, the wind's going to blow back from the north, and tomorrow will be the 30-degree day. We need to find out what the events are happening for this weekend and future weekends, and we always turn to Aaron for what's happening.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet.
There's some great events actually kicking off today. If you watched our show last week, we had our family martial arts show last week, and there's a great event today at the Enid Public Library. It starts at 4 p.m. for kids in grades kindergarten through 5th grade, and this is their martial arts class for beginners. It's also 3 other dates. It's in March, April, and May. After that, there's a 5 p.m. teen self-defense for kids in 6th grade through 12th grade. They will need a consent form that's signed by a parent to participate, which you can pick up at the Enid Public Library. It's a class to help teach physical fitness, self-defense, and gain focus and confidence. So it's definitely a great event. Watch our last show if you really want to hear more about it. He is great, and his program is amazing. After that, we have the 14th Annual Indoor Track and Field Games, which is at the Chisholm Trail Expo Center, which is Friday through Saturday. It's at 11 a.m. both days, and it's the only high school indoor track and field meet in Oklahoma, so definitely go support these kids. It's $5 for adults, $3 for students, and it's hosted by the Enid High School and Chisholm High School track and field booster programs. I think Steve said you mentioned you had ran in it before.
Way back in the dark ages. Back when you used hourglasses for time, you know, not watches. Long time ago. So
And then
yeah,
we have,
go out and support the kids.
yes, definitely. And there's one more great event, which is a bus stop at the Gaslight Dinner Theater, which is this Friday and Saturday and the next weekend as well. It starts at 7 p.m., which is the dinner, and then the show starts at 8 p.m. It's $65 for the dinner and the show, and $15 if you'd like to only go to the show. It's about it's a comedy about a snowstorm, which seems reasonable. You could snow any day here. It's a snowstorm where a bus is coming from Kansas and pulls up to a roadside diner, and all the roads are blocked, so these 5 people who are traveling on the bus have to keep warm and hole up in the diner until the next day. And that's what's happening this weekend.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. You know, February is our snowy month, and we have some snows in March as well, so I'm really surprised it hasn't snowed more. So.
Well,
Thank you.
Could happen anytime now.
That's true. Thank you for getting us informed on what's happening. Well, as you know, there's various artwork pieces that are underway in the Enid community. You know, we have murals that are on the buildings downtown, and we also have the Under Her Wing project that is being constructed constructed, which is located south of the Event Center or Central National Bank Center. We have a little video clip we want to show on that, and then we'll be back with our physician to talk to us about heart health on this Valentine's Day.
They've started construction last week and they're doing a little more hole digging today. Tomorrow I anticipate that they'll get some more steel in place. I'm super excited to see the progress so far. Everything to this point has just been stuff I've been looking at on paper and thinking and imagining that these renderings would come to life, and here we are, and they're coming to life. It's fantastic.
Good morning, Enid. On this Valentine's Day, our theme, as I mentioned earlier, is about heart health. And we have from St. Mary's Dr. John Bartolozzi, and we appreciate the doctor being with us today. And what would be a typical day for you? Is there such thing in your world? Internal medicine, heart, and all of this. Do you have a typical day? Does it start at dark 30 and ends at dark 30?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I have clinic, and some days it's clinic all day, some days it's just half-day clinic, and then I'm in the hospital doing procedures. So, yeah, and I pretty much work around the clock. I'm an independent physician, so I work and see my patients, get everything done.
Very good. Well, thank you for being here, and we're going to do a little tag team effort here this morning.
Okay.
Now, kick it off with a pretty easy question. How would you define heart health?
Heart health, pretty much it's anything that you do that is good for your heart, whether it's exercise, diet, stress, real management, those kind of things. Sleep.
Excuse me. I didn't know that was coming. I didn't get choked up over your answer. I just got choked up. This will sound so, Aaron may need to help me out, but this sounds very elementary of a question, but why is this heart health so important? I guess if a person's thinking long-term life, heart health is important. So,
Well, absolutely. You want to live a long, healthy, happy life, and that's why we stress the things that one can do to take care of your heart. Because, I tell my patients, when the pump fails, game's over. So you want to keep that going. So.
Definitely. I think you mentioned diet is also really important. What would you consider to be a heart-healthy diet?
besides broccoli.
The green leafy vegetables, your broccoli, your cauliflower, whole grains, lean meats. You can do the red meat in moderation, like many things, but you want to do it the leaner meats, poultry, fish, nuts, seeds, so like walnuts, almonds, seeds like pumpkin seed. So those are kind of some ideas of stuff that you can eat, a heart healthy diet. Dairy's good, except you want to do the lower fat, milk and.
I do skim milk. Is that a good move?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Ting, ting. I got one little
Check that
sticker.
box off.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't go home and eat all that chocolate that I got for Valentine's Day, right?
Dark
No,
chocolate is dark
Okay,
chocolate
dark
is
chocolate.
the real
Tell
dark
her to bring
chocolate.
it to the office and share
There you
it.
go. Absolutely. No, actually, you raised a good question. Dark chocolate. The darker the chocolate, the better it is for you because the more tannins it has in it, which is good for your vascular system. So actually,
Okay. Keep that in mind.
Just missed out on having some chocolate now. So, I guess if someone has had problems with their heart or later in life there is a heart issue, that's the day they become concerned about heart health. But in a perfect world, when do you be concerned about heart health? Does it start in the college years, high school? Again, in a perfect world, when should you?
Well, actually, you know, the plaque buildup begins in your teenage years. So early on, I mean, you know, with all kids, starting with kids, you know, making sure they stay active all the way up through, you know, grade school, high school, college. I mean, it's important because it doesn't just start when you cross over 50 or whatever. I mean, it's right away.
With Valentine's Day, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there, girls out there that are stressful about buying last-minute gifts. So how does stress affect the heart?
Stress adversely affects the heart. It causes release of certain hormones in the body that can cause problems with narrowing of the arteries, it makes the heart work harder, increased oxygen demand and stuff like that. Over time, it's kind of like wear and tear on the pipes and the pump. So you put more stress on the arteries, you get more plaque buildup. You put more stress on the heart, it wears out more quickly.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way to combat that stress?
Sure. I mean, without seeking, you can go, you know, counseling and psychology, psychiatrists, but just doing, you know, having a hobby that you enjoy doing or being around with friends and doing stuff like that can help relieve the stress of the day. So,
You've already mentioned the importance of maybe even in the early teens to be concerned about heart health and talked about the right diet. But in layman's terms, let's talk about how the right diet and exercise really affect the heart. I guess you need both of those to work together. Is that right? Exercise
Correct.
and the diet, not just one?
right, you want to, you know, I tell my patients, 30, well, it varies, but the current recommendation is 30 minutes a day. So you want 120, 180, 5 to 6 days a week is what the current recommendation is. And that's a moderate amount of exercise. I mean, you want to, you know, exercise to the point where you kind of break a little sweat. You don't have to, you know, be sopping wet and stuff like that. You don't have to go to the gym and kill yourself. I tell the patients, you know, something that you enjoy doing, something you feel comfortable with, and a combination, some aerobic stuff, whether it's simply walking, or if you want to do some light weights for some resistance training, also helps the heart.
Let's stay on the topic of the diet, as in eating, for just a moment. We have meetings. We have meetings at the city offices. There's sandwiches. We have a late night meeting. There's dinner. I mean, we have such a culture, such a meeting culture where there's food everywhere you go. You go to a breakfast event to speak at or a luncheon to speak at. What are some guidelines to help us know what are the right things to eat?
Stay away from the donuts.
Oh no. Do you mean the ones that are in my car right now that I need to take to the office?
That's my favorite part of Thursday.
You can take them. You can transport them. It's just don't go down to the donut shop and oh, look at all these nice donuts.
I guess my point is I don't want to be carrying this cart around and say, okay, I can eat this. I guess it's just the discipline in yourself and to enlighten yourself to say these are the right kind of foods. And these are the foods maybe once every 7 years kind of deal.
I think it's everything in moderation. You know, like stay away from the white bread, pastas. I mean, I would stay away from white bread, pasta, the high carb stuff like that. Just limit. You don't have to like say no, I can't have it. But I mean, you want to limit. So if you're going to have a sandwich, I'll tell patients, yeah, okay, you can go to Brahms and have a burger. Don't eat both buns. Take one of the buns off and eat, and don't eat the French fries, or just have a few French fries for a little taste or something like that. But you don't have to finish off the whole meal. It's okay. And then don't drink the sugary drinks. You drink all that soda. It's a lot of sugar. The fruit juices are the same thing because you're getting the sugar, but you're not getting the fiber and the other things that you would get from actually eating the fruit, like, you know, the bananas and apples and stuff like that. So stay away from the fruit drinks.
I've got one more question for you before we put you on the spot here. So are you saying I can have my Diet Coke with the Snickers? Does that work? No. I must have missed his explanation somewhere. So I'm
No.
thinking, I don't want to eat sugar. I mean, I don't want to drink sugar, so I'll have a Diet Coke with my payday or something like that. So.
No, you wanna stay away
Okay.
from- you wanna
Anytime a
stay-
doctor does this to you, you know you need to take the class over, that's for sure. Our special guest this morning, Dr. John Bartolozzi from St. Mary's, and we're talking heart health, and we appreciate the doctor being with us today.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
And if you missed it earlier, we have one guy who knows everything. He has so much information and some pretty interesting facts about the day, and that is Derek Silas, the bow tie guy with the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Aaron. Here's a few top headlines for this week. Legislators today are expected to pass legislation that will prevent another government shutdown. And statewide, Oklahoma had a low turnout for the mayoral municipal races based on the 2017 population and not registered voters, where Enid had a 7.2% turnout rate. The city of Enid municipal results by the Oklahoma State Election Board places George Pankinen as mayor-elect and Rob Stallings as commissioner-elect for Ward 5. Ward 1 and Ward 2 had no opposition, therefore Jerry Allen will be the Ward 1 commissioner and Darren Norwood will remain the Ward 2 commissioner. A new report released by the state reveals that 30,000 Oklahoma teachers have left the profession in past 6 years. The state superintendent believes this is due to budget cuts over the last 10 years. And the industry for the medical marijuana is booming. The sales exceeded $4 million in January, according to the Oklahoma Tax Commission. And tonight, Oklahoma City Thunder will go up against the New Orleans Pelicans at 7 p.m. in New Orleans. The game will air on Fox Sports Oklahoma. And on this day in history, in 278, the priest St. Valentine was beheaded in Rome. He had written a farewell note to his daughter, having signed it with the ending, "From your Valentine." His death was mingled with the feast of Lupercalia, a pagan festival of love, and the date gradually became a date for exchanging love messages, poems, and sharing simple gifts as flowers and candy. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you so much, Derek. I always love hearing those on this day in history because it's so much new information that
The beheading thing was kind of not
it's
necessary.
interesting though. Now you kind of know the story of why it happened.
Before you do the 3-day weather, you mentioned about the Thunder and Rumble. There is a video out for those of you who love Rumble. We've had Rumble as a studio guest, Doctor. It was very difficult to interview a bison that doesn't talk, but it was a quiet experience. Anyway, there's a video out there. Bison, or Rumble, is at the Cowboy Hall of Fame, National Cowboy Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City. There's a bison exhibit, art exhibit, with all this different artwork on bisons. Well, Rumble is going through all of the different statues and stuff like that, and then finally there's this little platform and he sees the crowd coming in to look at all the artwork, so he jumps on this platform and he freezes his position like he's a real statue, and then when they walk by he's looking at it. It's hilarious. Typical Rumble. So Cowboy Hall of Fame, Google Rumble there and you'll see that. So anyway, you can do that on this 3-day weekend.
Yes, so let's take a look at that weather and see how that's going to be this weekend.
Oh, Rumble.
I think it is supposed to get a little bit chillier. So today it's supposed to be 65, but this weekend it is going to get down to the 30s. Looks like it's below freezing on Friday and Saturday, but warming up a little bit on Sunday. So 39, getting closer to 40 in the nicer weather, but looks like the winds are out of the north for the most of the weekend, so it's definitely going to be a bit chilly.
It's going to be February weather.
Yes.
And we have President's Day holiday. Many government offices are closed next Monday, and so keep that in mind. The city offices will be closed. I'm not sure about the school, but I know the city offices will be closed Monday the 18th, President's Day. Therefore, the city council meeting will be Thursday evening. Study session gets underway at 5 o'clock and the council meeting at 6:30. We will live stream these. If you do not have local cable TV, you can watch it on your smartphone or your computer. Go to enidtv.org, or you can watch it on Channel 12 and 112. Thursday is the city commission night. At 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to show an interview that I had with Richard Davis. Richard is the new CEO, part owner and coach of the Flying Aces, the Oklahoma Indoor Arena football team, and that's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning.
And now for my favorite part.
Yeah, I think we need to do that. And we got one more question for the doctor.
Yes. So we have Carl today. He is a very laid-back dog, very cute, definitely needs a home, and Charlotte has him to show you today. So take it away, Charlotte.
1-year-old male pit bull spaniel mix. He's a really sweet, loving dog, and we think he's dog friendly because he came in with a buddy. So come by and meet Carl today. Look at him. He's there. Look at you, boy.
I think Charlotte found the favorite spot that Carl liked, because the more she was rubbing on his neck, the more he just kind of, said, that's the right spot. So anyway, 249-4910 is the number to call, and help out, adopt Carl and help out Charlotte, if you will. Okay, Dr. John Bartolozzi is our guest this morning from St. Mary's, and we've got one more question before we get out of here at 8 o'clock.
Yes. So what are some symptoms or signs of any potential for heart disease or any other heart attack? What are some symptoms?
Shortness of breath when you do stuff, and it can progress to shortness of breath at rest. That can be worrisome. Increasing fatigue, tired. You tire more easily doing things that you would normally do. And the other thing that could indicate heart problems is swelling in the feet or legs, maybe around the ankles, or in some cases up to the knees. Those would be early signs that maybe there's something going on.
With Americans in our diet, with those symptoms, do you find that when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, is there a general age that you here in Oklahoma that you've noticed that those symptoms kind of show up in people's lives?
Yes, I see it a lot.
If you could generalize an age.
50 and on up.
50 and on up.
Yes.
Okay.
I start to see it. Some people younger, but primarily it's 50 and up.
You talked about the shortness in breath, so let's go on the other side of that, Doctor. Signs of a healthy heart. That's all internal, but how would you know that you have this healthy heart? I guess knowing the blood pressure is where it's supposed to be?
Make sure your blood pressure is where it is, and you should have it, checked periodically. When you're 45 or older, it should be annually. Under that, every 3 to 5 years, unless you're being treated for high blood pressure. Know your cholesterol level, because that'll obviously have an impact on your health. And then getting plenty of exercise, eating right, stuff like that. If you don't have the symptoms, the shortness of breath, the fatigue, the swelling, then things are good, and no chest pain. That's, of course, chest discomfort is a paramount issue.
Okay. We have less than a minute here this morning, and I just had this thought. Born and raised in Oklahoma. I haven't lived in Oklahoma all my life, but the majority of my life. But we had the old chicken fried steak, and we've had the bacon for breakfast, and that kind of mentality in Oklahoma, or in the South, if you will. Is Oklahomans, are we worse off health-wise than say a Montana or New Jersey or whatever, or is it across the United States our health condition?
I think it's more generalized. I mean, at one point, I think so. The smoking issue has been a big problem in this state. I know that, but outside that, I don't think that it's any worse in Oklahoma than anywhere else.
Okay. Well, Dr. John Bartolozzi, I'd like to visit with you more, but I have donuts in the car that I've got to get delivered. I will not touch them, but I have to get those delivered. So thank you for being here. We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
On our show on heart health.
much.
It's very, very important information. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much, Enid, for joining us. Get ready for a little bit of a chilly weekend. Dress accordingly, but have a great Valentine's Day, and thank you for joining us. Good morning, Enid.